Welcome to Monk's Temple. Settle in, wherever you are. Let your eyes soften, your shoulders relax. There is no test here, no puzzle to solve. Just a space to listen, and in listening, to perhaps hear something within yourself you've known all along. We often scan the horizon for signs, for signals that promise a golden future. We look to dates, to stars, to numbers, hoping they will whisper the secret of our success. But what if the most powerful signal is not out there, but in here? Not a broadcast from distant galaxies, but a quiet, constant transmission from your own heart. Today, we explore a different kind of map. Not one drawn in ink, but one felt in the breath. Not one that points to a buried chest of gold, but one that leads you to the buried treasure of your own boundless potential. This is the ancient path of wisdom, the way of seeing the world taught by the Buddha. It does not promise you will become a millionaire. It promises you will discover something far more valuable, how to be rich in spirit, and how that spiritual richness naturally cultivates a life of profound and sustainable abundance. Let me share with you a memory, a simple moment that changed the axis of my understanding. I was not always in the tranquil embrace of the monastery. In my youth, I was a seeker of external validation, chasing one formula for success after another. Once, in a period of great frustration, I traveled to a remote coastal village, hoping the sea air would clear my mind. I met an old fisherman who mended his nets each dawn with impossibly slow, deliberate movements. I, brimming with my city haste, asked him, "How can you be so content with so little? Don't you want more? A bigger boat, a larger catch?" He didn't look up from his knot. He simply said, "I have a big boat. It is the ocean. I have a large catch. It is the sunrise, the pull of the tide, the weight of a full net in my hands. You speak of more as if it is ahead. I find more in the knot I am tying right now." He then pointed to the vast, shimmering horizon. "Out there is endless water. It will make you thirsty if you think it is for owning. Right here," he said, tapping his chest, "is the well. It will never run dry if you remember to drink from it." That fisherman, with his salt-weathered hands and serene eyes, was my first true teacher of abundance. He taught me that prosperity is not a destination to be reached, but a quality of attention to be practiced. It is about recognizing the ocean you already float upon, rather than straining for a distant shore. And if this notion of finding the well within speaks to you, I warmly invite you to subscribe to Monk's Temple. It is like sitting together by this shared well, reminding each other to drink deeply. Your companionship on this journey is a gift. Now, let us gently set aside the search for a coded message in your birth date. Instead, let us turn our attention to the fundamental cosmic law that the Buddha illuminated with such clarity, the law of karma, the law of cause and effect. But we must see it in its full depth. It is not a celestial punishment and reward system. It is more like the principle of ecology. In a forest, every action has a reaction, every cause and effect. A tree falls, and it becomes a nursery for fungi, a home for insects, a nutrient bed for new seedlings. Nothing is wasted, everything is connected. Your mind, your speech, your actions, these are the seeds you drop into the fertile soil of your life and the lives of others. The quality of the seed determines the quality of the harvest. This is not philosophy, it is a practical reality. If you plant the seed of a mango, you will get a mango tree. You will not get an apple tree and then complain that the universe is unfair. The universe is impeccably, precisely fair. It gives you back the essence of what you put out. This understanding transforms your relationship with wealth. Wealth, in the truest sense, is not a pile of currency. It is a flow of value. When your actions, your seeds, create genuine value for others, when they solve problems, ease suffering, bring beauty or understanding, you are initiating a powerful flow. The flow must, by the laws of energy, return to you. It may return as money, as opportunity, as trust, as friendship. But it will return. The suffering begins when we try to dam the flow, to hoard the water for ourselves, forgetting that stagnant water spoils. Or when we plant seeds of deception, thinking we can trick the ecosystem into giving us mangoes from the seeds of weeds. The ecosystem cannot be tricked. It can only respond. I think of a woman named Anya, who ran a small bakery in a busy town. Her competitors used cheap, mass-produced ingredients to maximize profit. Anya, however, would wake while it was still dark to source organic flour, real butter, and fruit from local farms. Her pastries cost a bit more. She also had a curious practice. Every day, she would set aside a dozen of her finest pastries, not for sale, and give them to the delivery riders, the street sweepers, the elderly people who sat on benches nearby. Her accountant fretted. This is not a sustainable model. You are giving away your profit. But Anya continued. She was planting seeds of quality and seeds of unasked-for generosity. One day, a famous food critic, incognito, was in town. He tasted a pastry from a flashy chain bakery and found it bland. He then saw an elderly man enjoying one of Anya's free apple tarts, his face a picture of bliss. Intrigued, the critic visited Anya's humble shop. He wrote a review that called her bakery an oasis of authenticity in a desert of commercial compromise. He didn't just praise the food, he praised the spirit of the place, the connection to local farms, the quiet generosity. The article went viral. Overnight, her bakery had lines around the block. But here is the crucial part. The flow of customers did not change Anya. She did not expand hastily or compromise her ingredients. She simply hired more locals and baked more, maintaining her daily ritual of giving. Her business became a community anchor, profoundly prosperous because it was rooted in the authentic, generous values she had planted from the beginning. She understood that the ecosystem of commerce rewards true nourishment, not just empty calories. Her prosperity was the natural fruit of her karmic seeds. This leads us to the heart of the matter, the state of mind from which we act. The Buddha taught that before a physical action, there is a mental formation. Before the seed is planted, there is the intention in the gardener's mind. This is where true power lies. If your intention is rooted in fear, I must get this or I will be nothing, the resulting action, even if it succeeds temporarily, carries the brittle energy of fear. It will create more fear. If your intention is rooted in love, in contribution, in the joy of creating, the action carries an expansive energy. It will create more expansion. Therefore, the first and most important work of cultivating abundance is to tend to the soil of your own intentions. Are you planting from a place of scarcity or a place of sufficiency? This is not a trivial question. It is the compass for your entire journey. Let's go deeper now, into the quiet center where your intentions are born. Imagine your mind is not just a garden, but also the sky above it. Sometimes the sky is clear, calm, a boundless blue that allows the sun to nourish every seedling. This is the mind of clarity, of sufficiency. Sometimes, the sky is full of churning, dark clouds, worries about the future, regrets about the past, storms of not enough. This is the mind of scarcity. When you plant seeds under a stormy sky, the seeds themselves are watered with anxiety. They may grow, but they will be weak, susceptible to blight. The Buddha's path offers us a way to become the weathermaker of our own inner sky. This is the practice of mindfulness, of sati. It is not about emptying the mind, but about changing your relationship to the weather. You learn to sit quietly and observe the storm clouds without believing you are the storm. You see the thought, "I will never have enough," and you recognize it as just a cloud passing through the vast sky of your awareness. In that recognition, the thought loses its power to drench your seeds with fear. I learned this not through grand revelation, but through a humble, repeated task at the monastery, sweeping the courtyard. At first, I would sweep with impatience, my mind already on the next chore, resentful of the leaves that would surely fall again tomorrow. My sweeping was frantic, inefficient, and left me exhausted. The old groundskeeper watched me for a few days. Then, one morning, he simply said, "The broom is not for the leaves. The broom is for your mind. Sweep the leaves, and in doing so, sweep the clutter from your thoughts. Each stroke is a breath. The clean path is your reward." I began again, slower. I felt the weight of the broom in my hands, heard the soft whisper of bristles on stone, saw the arc of the dust in the morning light. I was no longer fighting the leaves, I was simply engaged in the act of sweeping. A profound calm descended. And I noticed something miraculous. When I was fully present, the work became effortless, almost joyful. The courtyard was cleaned more thoroughly, and my energy was replenished, not drained. This is the alchemy of mindfulness applied to any task, including the task of building your life. When you approach your work, your finances, your goals with this quality of present moment attention, you are no longer laboring under a stormy sky of future worry. You are working under a clear sky of focused engagement. And from this place, your actions, your planted seeds, are imbued with a potent, calm energy that the universe responds to powerfully. This clear sky of mind allows us to see a truth that is often obscured by our storms of desire, the truth of impermanence, or anicca. Everything that arises, passes away. Every single thing. Your savings account balance, your job title, the car you drive, the health of your body, all are in a gentle, constant state of flux. To build your sense of security and self-worth on these shifting sands is to invite perpetual anxiety. It is like building your dream house on the bank of a river. You may love the view, but you will spend every waking moment fearing the flood, building higher and higher walls, constantly reinforcing, always on guard. Your beautiful house becomes a fortress of fear. The Buddha's wisdom invites us to build our home not on the riverbank, but on the stable ground a little way back from the shore. From there, you can still enjoy the river, you can swim in it, draw water from it, appreciate its beauty, but you are not terrified of its changing levels. You have a relationship with the river, you are not its prisoner. Financial wealth is that river. It can be enjoyed, utilized, appreciated. But if your inner peace rises and falls with its tides, you have given it a power over you it was never meant to have. True wealth is the stable ground of your own unshakable awareness. I witnessed this understanding in a retired businessman who came to the temple for retreat. He had sold his company for a vast sum, yet he was agitated, irritable, unable to sit still. In a conversation, he confessed, "I spent 40 years building my fortress. Now that I have it, all I can think about is defending it. From taxes, from market crashes, from my own family's expectations. I am the guard of my own prison." We walked together in the pine forest. I pointed to a massive, ancient pine. "This tree," I said, "does not defend its needles. Each autumn, it lets them go, every single one. It stands through winter, bare and silent, trusting the sap within and the sun to return. Its strength is not in holding on, but in knowing what to release, season after season." The man stood for a long time, looking at the tree. He began his practice, not of meditation first, but of conscious, symbolic release. He started giving away small, meaningful amounts of his wealth to causes he'd never considered. With each act of giving, he felt not a loss, but a lightening, as if he were dropping stones from a heavy pack he'd carried for decades. He wasn't becoming poor, he was becoming light. And in that lightness, his creativity returned. He started a small, non-profit mentorship program for young entrepreneurs, not to make money, but to share his hard-won wisdom. He found a joy and purpose that his fortune had never provided. He had moved his house from the eroding riverbank to solid ground. The river of his money was now a resource he used wisely, not a master he served fearfully. This practice of non-attachment, of conscious release, is the companion to mindful awareness. It is how we keep our inner sky clear. It is not indifference. It is the deepest form of appreciation, because you love something without needing to possess it, to freeze it in time. You love it as it is, which is always changing. You hold it with an open palm, not a clenched fist. An open palm can receive. A clenched fist can neither give nor receive, it can only strain. Let me tell you a story about a master calligrapher I was privileged to know. Her work was so sought after that people would wait years for a single scroll. I asked her once about her process. She said, "The most important moment is not when the ink meets the paper. It is the moment before, when the brush is fully loaded, hovering above the pristine surface. In that moment, I must have no desire for the scroll to be beautiful, no fear that it will be flawed. If I hold the desire for a masterpiece, my hand will be tight. The line will be stiff, a prisoner of my ambition. If I hold the fear of failure, my hand will tremble. The line will be weak, a victim of my doubt. I must release both the desire and the fear. I must become empty, so that the character itself can flow through me onto the paper. The beauty that results is not my creation. It is my allowance. This is the highest artistry, and it applies directly to creating a prosperous life. When you approach your work, your investments, your relationships with a mind loaded with potential but free from the desperate desire for a specific outcome or the paralyzing fear of loss, you allow for a grace and intelligence to flow through you. Your actions become elegant, effective, and aligned with a larger harmony. You are not forcing the masterpiece. You are allowing the natural masterpiece of your aligned efforts to emerge. This is the state from which true, sustainable abundance is born. As we continue, let us explore the very nature of the one who seeks this abundance. We speak of my wealth, my success, my future. But who is this my? Buddhism invites a radical and liberating inquiry into the self, the concept of anatta, or not self. This is not a bleak denial of your existence. It is an invitation to see what you truly are. We are taught to believe in a solid, separate, permanent I inside, a little commander in the control room of the skull, who owns the body, owns the thoughts, owns the bank account. But if you look closely, with the clear sky of mindfulness, can you find this permanent owner? Your body changes constantly. Your thoughts and emotions flow like weather. Your memories are reconstructions. Where is the fixed, unchanging you? What you find instead is a magnificent, flowing process. A river of experience. There is the sensation of breath, the sound of these words, the feeling of the chair, the thought, I am listening, all arising and passing in a brilliant, ephemeral dance. There is no solid thing called self apart from this dance. You are the dance. Why is this understanding the key to unparalleled freedom and, paradoxically, to great prosperity? Because all suffering, including financial anxiety, stems from the illusion of this separate, fragile self. This self feels small, alone, and under threat. It must constantly acquire, defend, and build walls to feel safe. Its prosperity is a fortress, always needing higher walls. But when you touch the truth of not self, you realize you are not an isolated drop of water fearing evaporation. You are the entire ocean in a temporary, dancing wave form. The ocean does not fear for the wave. The waves coming and going is the ocean's joyful expression. When this insight dawns, even partially, your relationship with everything, including money, transforms. Resources are no longer mine to hoard. They are currents in the larger ocean of life that are flowing through your present waveform. Your role shifts from fortress builder to steward, from owner to conduit. Your focus moves from, how much can I accumulate, to, how beautifully and beneficially can I allow this energy to flow through me. I saw this embodied in a man named Leo, who inherited a vast family estate, forests, farmland, and a historic home. The weight of ownership crushed him. He felt responsible for preserving everything perfectly, frozen in time. He spent his fortune on lawyers, fences, and security, becoming isolated and miserable. The estate was a museum, and he was its lonely, anxious curator. During a walk, he met an elderly woman who lived in a cottage on the edge of his woods. She lived simply, foraging, gardening, and knew every plant and creature. She said to him, "You look like you are carrying the whole forest on your back. Can't you feel it trying to hold you up?" Her words struck him. He began, tentatively, to shift. Instead of seeing himself as the owner, he began to see himself as the current caretaker of a living, breathing ecosystem. He opened trails for the community. He let a local organic farmer cultivate a fallow field in exchange for a share of the harvest. He converted part of the old house into a small retreat for artists. He didn't lose the estate, he integrated it into the living tissue of the world around it. Money, which had been bleeding away in maintenance and defense, began to circulate in new, life-giving ways, paying trail guides, supporting the farmer, hosting residencies. The estate became vibrant, valued, and sustainable. More importantly, Leo's burden vanished. He was no longer a lonely owner, but a vital node in a thriving network. His prosperity multiplied because he released the fiction of separate possession and embraced his role as a steward. His sense of self expanded from Leo, the heir, to Leo, part of this land and community. His anxiety was replaced by a deep, flowing contentment. This brings us to a principle that is the active expression of this understanding: generosity, or Dana. In the framework of a separate self, generosity is a loss, a subtraction. I am giving away what is mine. But from the perspective of not self, generosity is the most natural thing in the world. It is the ocean allowing a wave to crest and share its water with the shore. It is the circulation of life itself. The Buddha called generosity the foundation of the path because it is the direct, practical antidote to the poison of greed, which is born from the delusion of separation. When you give, you are not a small self losing something. You are life itself, rearranging its forms. You are proving to your own deepest being that you are part of the flow, not a stagnant pool. And the universe, this vast, interconnected system, responds to flow. Stagnation leads to decay. Circulation leads to vitality. But generosity has layers, like an artichoke. The outermost layer is giving material things, money, food, gifts. This is good. The next layer is giving your time, your energy, your skills. This is better. A deeper layer is giving fearlessness, offering protection, safety, and calm to those who are afraid. Deeper still is giving the Dharma, sharing wisdom that liberates. And the deepest, most profound generosity is the giving of non-fear. The radiant, unshakable peace that comes from one who knows their true nature is boundless and cannot be harmed. When you are in the presence of such a person, their calm assures you that everything is workable. That is the ultimate gift. You practice generosity not to get something back, but to wear away the calcified shell of the separate me. Each act of giving is a gentle stroke that polishes the mirror of your awareness, letting more of the ocean's light shine through. I remember a street sweeper in the city near our temple. His name was Sam. He did his job with a kind of reverent precision. But his real generosity was in his attention. He knew the names of the shopkeepers, the homeless regulars, the hurried office workers. He had a kind word, a genuine inquiry, a moment of eye contact for everyone. He carried candies in his pocket for children and dog biscuits for pets. He gave nothing material of great value, yet he was a rich node in the human network of that street. One fiercely cold winter, Sam fell ill. The news traveled down the block. The florist brought soup. The cafe owner sent hot coffee every day. The banker he always greeted arranged for a doctor's visit. The street itself, his informal community, cared for him. He had no savings, no insurance policy. But he had built a web of mutual care through 1,000 small generosities of spirit. His wealth was relational, and it was more reliable than any pension. He understood that the currency of true security is not stored in vaults, but woven into the hearts of others through consistent, small acts of kindness. His giving created an invisible, resilient safety net. So, we begin to see a new framework emerging. Prosperity is not a number. It is a quality of relationship. It is the quality of your relationship with your own mind, mindful and clear. With the reality of change, accepting and adaptable, with the illusion of self, seeing through it to become a steward, and with the world around you, generous and connected. When these relationships are wise and harmonious, the natural byproduct is a life that is resilient, creative, and magnetically attractive to resources and opportunities. You are no longer chasing money. You are cultivating a state of being that money, in its right and proper place, naturally flows toward to support, because that state of being is inherently creative and contributory. Let us now build upon this foundation of understanding and introduce the framework that will guide your hands in this cultivation. We can call it the 4 pillars of awakened prosperity. These are not steps to be taken in order, but interconnected supports, like the 4 legs of a sturdy table. If one is weak, the structure wobbles. When all are strong, it provides a stable surface upon which a beautiful and abundant life can be arranged. The first pillar, the foundation of integrity, sila. This is the bedrock, the solid ground upon which everything else is built. In Buddhism, sila is often translated as morality or virtue, but it is more dynamic than a list of rules. It is the conscious commitment to non-harming, to causing no injury through your actions, your speech, or even your livelihood. For our purpose, let's call it integrity. It means your inner world and your outer actions are in alignment. You do not say one thing and do another. You do not build your success on the hidden exploitation of others or the environment. You are honest, not because you fear punishment, but because you understand that dishonesty is a crack in your own foundation. A building with a cracked foundation may stand for a time, but every storm will stress it, and eventually, it will require exhausting energy just to keep it from collapsing. Living with integrity is like building on granite. You can rest. You are not hiding, not pretending, not managing a facade. This inner cohesion creates a tremendous energetic efficiency. All your power flows in one direction, toward your authentic purpose. Instead of being diverted into maintaining deceptions or soothing a guilty conscience. People sense this solidity. Trust gathers around integrity like iron filings to a magnet. And in the world of creating value, trust is the most valuable currency of all. I knew a software developer named Rohan who worked for a startup. The company was pushing to launch a new app with revolutionary features. Rohan, digging into the code, discovered the core feature was essentially a clever illusion. It didn't work as advertised, it only gave the appearance of working. The founders pressured him. It's just marketing. Everyone does this. We'll fix it later after we get funding. Rohan faced a choice: compromise his integrity for a likely payoff or stand his ground. He chose to stand. He refused to put his name on the code. He was fired. For months, he struggled, taking minor contracts. But he had planted a seed of profound professional integrity. A former colleague, who had admired his stance, later started her own ethical tech firm. Her first call was to Rohan. "I need someone whose no, I can trust as much as their yes," she said. He became her lead engineer. The company, built on a culture of radical transparency and real solutions, thrived. Rohan's short-term loss was the price of preserving his granite foundation. The long-term gain was a career of deep respect, meaningful work, and financial stability that was not built on a lie. His integrity was not a cost, it was his most valuable asset. The second pillar, the lamp of mindful awareness, samadhi. If integrity is the stable ground, mindful awareness is the steady light by which you work upon it. Samadhi is often translated as concentration or meditation, but it is the collected, unified, calm state of mind. It is the clear sky we spoke of. This pillar is about cultivating the quality of your attention. A scattered mind is like a flickering, weak lantern. It casts jumping shadows, misses details, and easily blows out in the wind. A mind trained in mindful awareness is like a brilliant, unwavering lighthouse beacon. It sees clearly, penetrates confusion, and remains constant regardless of the stormy weather around it. This is your most crucial tool for discernment. In the fog of financial decisions, market fears, and get-rich-quick schemes, this inner lamp allows you to see reality as it is, not as your fears or desires paint it. It lets you spot a genuine opportunity from a glittering trap. It allows you to hear your own intuitive wisdom over the cacophony of external opinions. Consider the practice of a master jeweler assessing a rough diamond. He does not do it under strobe lights with music blaring. He creates a quiet, clean, well-lit space. He uses simple, precise tools. He turns the stone slowly, observing it from every angle in the consistent light. He is not thinking about how much money it will bring. He is fully absorbed in seeing the stone itself, its flaws, its inclusions, its potential lines of cleavage. His concentrated awareness reveals the truth of the gem. Your life, your career, your investments are that rough diamond. Social media, news cycles, the opinions of others are the strobe lights and loud music. The practice of mindfulness, through daily meditation, through conscious breaths, through periods of digital silence, is the act of creating that quiet, well-lit space within. From that space, you can assess your diamond clearly. You can see the real opportunities, the gem's natural facets, and the real risks, the hidden flaws. Decisions made from this lit-up space are inherently wiser, more aligned, and more likely to yield long-term value. This pillar ensures you are not working in the dark, stumbling and guessing. You are working with vision. The third pillar, the compass of discriminating wisdom, panna. This is the knowledge of how things truly are. It is the fruit of applying your lamp of awareness to the study of life itself. This wisdom understands the three marks of existence we've touched upon: impermanence, anicca, suffering or unsatisfactoriness, dukkha, and not self, anatta. This pillar is your compass. Integrity tells you how to build, with honesty. Awareness gives you the light to see. Wisdom gives you the direction. For example, wisdom of impermanence tells you that no market boom lasts forever, and no bust is permanent. This knowledge prevents you from getting drunk on greed during a boom or paralyzed by fear during a bust. It allows you to act with balance. Wisdom of not self tells you that losing a job is not the end of you. It is a change in circumstances for the ever-flowing process that you are. This prevents a financial setback from becoming an identity crisis. Wisdom of suffering tells you that seeking happiness in the acquisition of things alone is a dead-end road. It points you toward happiness in freedom, contribution, and peace. This wisdom allows you to use money as a tool for well-being, rather than mistaking it for well-being itself. With this compass, you are no longer tossed about by the changing winds of fortune. You have a true north, the understanding of reality, that guides your decisions toward lasting peace and genuine abundance. The fourth pillar, the river of generous flow, dana and right livelihood. This is the pillar of action in the world. It is the river that carries the benefits of the other three pillars out into the landscape of life. It has two channels, generosity, dana, and right livelihood. Generosity, as we've discussed, is the practice of circulating energy consciously. Right livelihood is ensuring that the very way you make your living is an expression of the first three pillars, that it is honest, mindful, wise, and causes no harm. This pillar completes the circuit. You receive energy from the world, through your work, you refine it with integrity, awareness, and wisdom, and then you consciously release a portion of it back through generosity. This conscious circulation mimics the healthy ecosystems of nature. A forest takes in sunlight and rain, and through the process of life, gives out oxygen, fruit, shade, and stability. It is a giving system. Your life, too, is meant to be a giving system, not a storage unit. This pillar ensures you remain a part of the flow, and thus, you remain vital, relevant, and continually replenished. Imagine a traditional water-driven mill. The river, the flow of life's energy, turns the wheel. The miller's job, his integrity, awareness, and wisdom, is to keep the mill in good repair, to align the gears properly, to ensure the stones are true. The flour that is produced, his created value, his income, is then used to feed his family, his community, and some is even set aside to give to travelers or the poor. The mill does not dam the river, it uses its flow skillfully and then shares the product. The four pillars together create such a mill. They create a life that is not about static accumulation, but about dynamic, skillful, and generous creation. This is the architecture of awakened prosperity. Now that we have the architecture, let us inhabit it. Let us move from understanding to being, from blueprint to lived experience. This is where we encounter the most subtle and powerful tool you possess, your attention. Where you place your attention is where you direct the energy of your life. The Buddha's path is, at its core, a training in mastering attention. Most of us live with attention captured by the past, regrets, old stories, or hijacked by the future, anxieties, fantasies. This scattered attention is poverty. It means you are never fully present to receive the riches of the current moment, the only moment where life actually happens. The present moment is the point of power, the only place where you can plant a seed, make a choice, or feel gratitude. When your attention is fully here, you are rich in time, rich in perception, rich in possibility. This is not a metaphor. It is a practical, experiential truth. I want to tell you about a concert violinist who came to the monastery in a state of deep burnout. Her career was successful, but she felt hollow. She played the notes, but the music was gone. She said, "I play in grand halls, but I am not there. I am worrying about the critic in the third row, or thinking about my mortgage, or replaying a mistake from the rehearsal. The violin feels like a stranger in my hands." We didn't discuss music theory. We sat in the garden, and I gave her a single, small stone. "Your task," I said, "is to know this stone for the next hour. Know its temperature, its weight, every ridge and valley, every color fleck. Your entire universe is this stone." She thought it was absurd but agreed. For a grueling hour, she wrestled with boredom, frustration, racing thoughts. But slowly, something shifted. Her attention, like a wild horse, began to settle. She felt the stone. She saw intricacies she would have never noticed. The world of the stone opened up to her. Afterwards, she was quiet, peaceful. "I haven't been that focused on anything in years," she admitted. I said, "Now, pick up your violin not to play a concerto, but to know the violin as you knew the stone. Feel the wood, the strings, the bow's tension. Let the music be what happens when you are that intimately present with the instrument." She began to practice this way. Not to perform, but to be present. Her next concert, she later wrote, was a revelation. I wasn't playing for anyone. I was simply present with the music. And for the first time, the audience was present with me. It was a communion, not a transaction. Her career transformed. Offers poured in, not because she was technically better, but because her presence now carried a palpable, magnetic authenticity. Her attention, once a source of poverty, had become her greatest wealth. She learned that mastery of your field comes not from straining toward a future goal, but from the profound depth of your attention to the present task. This is the secret of all great art, and of a great life. This quality of attention directly nourishes what we might call prosperity consciousness. It is a state of being that recognizes abundance as the default setting of the universe. Consider a single apple seed. Within it is the intelligent potential for an entire orchard, which in turn can produce millions more seeds. The universe is inherently abundant, creative, and proliferating. Scarcity is a mental construct, a story we tell ourselves based on fear and separation. When your attention is caught in the story of scarcity, there is not enough time, money, love, opportunity, you vibrate at the frequency of lack. You see only closed doors, missed chances, and competitors. You become a black hole, sucking energy toward you but giving off no light. But when you train your attention to notice abundance, the air in your lungs, the water from your tap, the knowledge at your fingertips, the network of people who support you, you begin to vibrate at the frequency of sufficiency. You become a sun, radiating energy. People are drawn to suns. Opportunities coalesce around them. This shift is not naive positivity. It is a deliberate redirecting of your attention from what is missing to what is present. It is looking at your garden and seeing the fertile soil, the available sunlight, the packet of seeds in your hand, rather than obsessing over the one weed in the corner. I witnessed this shift in a young entrepreneur named Ben. He started a small eco-friendly packaging company. For the first 2 years, he operated from sheer panic. His attention was fixated on his giant competitors, his dwindling cash reserve, every single negative online review. He was a walking embodiment of scarcity. His energy was desperate, and it repelled potential partners and customers. He was on the verge of collapse. A mentor, seeing his state, gave him a strange assignment. For 1 week, she said, you are forbidden from thinking about your competitors or your bank balance. Your only job is to find and document 100 things that are going right in your business. Not big things. Tiny things. A customer's thank you email. The smooth operation of your printer. The dedication of your one employee. The quality of your recycled cardboard. Ben thought it was ridiculous but was desperate enough to try. The first day, he struggled to find 5. By the 3rd day, he was noticing things he'd never seen, the morning sun streaming into his workshop, the satisfying sound of the tape dispenser, a local shop owner praising his product's design. His list grew. As he forcibly shifted his attention to the micro-abundances within his own enterprise, his entire demeanor changed. The desperation faded. A quiet confidence emerged. He began to engage with customers from a place of sharing something valuable, not begging for a sale. He started writing articles about the joy of sustainable packaging, not just its necessity. His energy changed from a black hole to a gentle, attractive light. Within months, his business began to turn around. A local magazine did a feature on passionate local artisans, and his story stood out because of its genuine, abundant joy. Orders increased. He hadn't changed his product, he had changed the consciousness from which he operated. His attention had cultivated a new reality. This is the practical application of the Buddha's teaching on right view, the first step of the Noble Eightfold Path. Right view is seeing things as they truly are, and a fundamental truth is interdependence. Your business, your life, is not an isolated castle under siege. It is a node in a vast, living network. When you operate from scarcity, you see the network as a threat, sucking resources from you. When you operate from abundance, you see the network as a source of mutual support and exchange. You look for ways to feed the network, knowing that a healthy network feeds all its nodes. Your attention, therefore, should be on how you can contribute value into the network, not just on what you can extract from it. This subtle shift in perspective is the difference between a parasite and a symbiont. Ecosystems nurture symbionts. They eject parasites. The law of the universe favors connection and contribution. So, we practice. We sit each morning, and before the day's demands rush in, we anchor our attention. We feel the breath. We list, silently, 3 things that are already present and abundant in our life. We set an intention: today, I will place my attention on creating value, on noticing beauty, on being fully present in my tasks. We are not trying to manipulate the universe. We are aligning ourselves with its inherent, abundant, creative nature. We are tuning our instrument to the fundamental frequency of life itself, which is growth, connection, and boundless potential. From this tuned and attentive space, every action you take is a note in a harmonious symphony. This is how you live the pillars. Integrity becomes the melody, awareness the rhythm, wisdom the harmony, and generous flow the song itself, shared with the world. Let us now address a quiet, persistent shadow that often trails the seeker of abundance, the fear of loss. It is one thing to understand impermanence intellectually. It is another to feel your stomach clench when the stock market dips or a client leaves. This fear is the guardian at the gate of the old, scarcity-based world. It whispers that you must clutch tighter, build higher walls, trust less. To move into the spacious landscape of awakened prosperity, we must befriend this fear, not fight it. We must understand its roots. In Buddhism, fear is a manifestation of aversion, one of the 3 poisons, along with greed and delusion. It is the mind's contraction away from what it perceives as a threat. But here is the key insight: the fear is not about the money itself. It is about the story your mind tells about what the loss of that money means about you. If I lose this, I am a failure. I am unsafe. I am unworthy. The fear is a contraction around a fictional, fragile self. Therefore, the work is not to amass so much wealth that you are immune to loss, an impossible task, but to dissolve the fiction that your safety and worth are dependent on external conditions. There is a profound practice for this, drawn from the oldest teachings. It is called the contemplation of the 5 remembrances. They are statements to be reflected upon regularly. I am of the nature to grow old, I cannot avoid aging. I am of the nature to become ill, I cannot avoid illness. I am of the nature to die, I cannot avoid death. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature to change, I cannot avoid being separated from them. My actions are my only true belongings. I cannot avoid the consequences of my actions. I am the heir to my actions. This may sound stark, even morbid. But its purpose is not to depress you. Its purpose is to liberate you. By consciously, gently bringing these truths into your awareness, you are doing the equivalent of inoculating yourself against the shock of change. When you truly know and accept that your body, your relationships, and your possessions are on loan from life, to be returned in due time, a miraculous shift occurs. You stop demanding that they be permanent. You start appreciating them as the incredible, temporary gifts they are. The energy you used to spend on clinging and fearing is freed up. That energy becomes available for creativity, for love, for contribution. You begin to hold your wealth, financial and otherwise, like a precious vase made of sand. You admire its form, you use it to hold beautiful flowers, but you do not rage against the wind when grains begin to slip away. You understand its nature. This is the ultimate financial planning. It is planning for the liberation of your heart, regardless of the balance in your account. I saw the power of this practice in an investor named Michael. He had built a significant portfolio, but it owned him. He checked prices compulsively, his mood a puppet of the daily fluctuations. He was wealthy but imprisoned. During a retreat, he was introduced to the 5 remembrances. He resisted fiercely. This is negative thinking, he argued. But the teacher gently persisted. Do not think of it as negative. Think of it as true. Is it not true that all these things will change? Reluctantly, Michael began the contemplation. At first, it filled him with dread. But as he sat with the truths daily, something unexpected happened. The sharp edge of his anxiety began to dull. He saw that his fear was not about the numbers, it was about his own mortality, his own insignificance, being mirrored in a falling stock price. By facing the deeper truth directly, the financial mirror lost its terrifying power. One day, during a market correction that would have previously sent him into a tailspin, he felt the familiar clutch of fear. But then he heard his own internal voice, cultivated from the practice. This, too, is of the nature to change. He took a deep breath. The fear rose, crested, and passed through him like a wave, leaving him on the shore of a calm, clear mind. From that calm, he made a rational adjustment to his portfolio, not a panicked one. His relationship to his wealth had been fundamentally healed. He was no longer its servant. He was its steward, now free from terror. His financial decisions improved because they were no longer contaminated by raw fear. He had found a security that no market could ever provide or take away. This leads us to a beautiful paradox at the heart of this path. The less you need wealth to define you, the more capably and gracefully it flows to you. Neediness, born of fear and a sense of lack, has a repelling energy. It smells of desperation. Confidence, born of inner stability and self-worth divorced from externals, has an attractive energy. It speaks of capability and trust. This is not about pretending you don't care about money. It is about caring from a place of wholeness, not emptiness. You engage with the world of finances as a game you are skilled at playing, not as a war for your survival. Your energy is focused on playing the game well, with integrity and wisdom, and on enjoying the play itself. The score, the financial result, becomes a feedback mechanism, not the definition of your worth. Consider the difference between two painters. The first painter paints because he believes a huge sale will finally make him feel like a real artist, worthy of love and respect. His brushstrokes are tense, his eye constantly on the gallery owner's reaction. His neediness bleeds into the art, making it feel contrived, trying too hard. The second painter paints because she loves the feel of the paint, the challenge of capturing light, the mystery of the creative process. She is present, joyful, absorbed. Her self-worth is intact before she even picks up the brush. Her art carries the energy of that wholeness and freedom. It is vibrant, authentic. Which painter's work is more likely to resonate, to connect, to be valued? The second, of course. Not because she didn't want to sell, but because her desire to sell was not tangled with her deepest need for validation. She was free to create true value, and the market responded to that truth. Your work in the world is your art. Your financial life is the gallery. When you do your work from a place of inner wholeness and love for the work itself, you create a product, a service, a presence that carries a magnetic authenticity. Financial compensation is the natural echo of that value created. So, we incorporate this into our daily cultivation. Alongside our mindfulness practice, we gently reflect on the true nature of our possessions and ourself. We say, this safety I feel is not in the bank account. It is in my capacity to adapt, to learn, to begin again. My worth is not in my title. It is in my integrity, my kindness, my willingness to grow. We practice non-attachment not by giving everything away, but by loosening the mental and emotional stranglehold we have on what we own. We hold it lightly. And in that lightness, we find a strength and an attractiveness that dense, fearful clinging could never provide. We are no longer defending a fortress. We are dancing in an open field, and our dance itself becomes an invitation for all good things to join us. We have spoken of inner cultivation, of mindset, of principles. Now let us bring this wisdom down to the very ground under our feet, to the practical, daily choices that form the stepping stones on your path. Awakened prosperity is not a distant mountain peak, it is the quality of the walk itself. Each day presents a series of crossroads, moments where you can choose the path of fear and scarcity or the path of wisdom and abundance. These choices are rarely grand, dramatic gestures. They are quiet, almost invisible inclinations of the heart and mind. They are the microseeds that, over time, grow into the forest of your life's circumstance. Let's explore some of these everyday crossroads. The crossroad of speech. Before words leave your mouth, there is a choice. You can speak from lack, complaining about prices, gossiping about a colleague's success, or moaning about how little time or money you have. This speech plants seeds of discord and reinforces a story of scarcity in your own mind and in the minds of others. Or, you can choose speech that is truthful, helpful, and kind. You can express gratitude for a service, offer genuine praise to a coworker, or speak about challenges as opportunities to learn. This speech plants seeds of harmony and abundance. It builds your reputation as a person of integrity and positivity, a reputation that becomes a tangible asset in your career and relationships. The Buddha emphasized right speech not as a moral commandment, but as a practical tool for creating a wholesome reality. Your words are incantations, they cast spells on your world. Choose the spells that bless, not curse. The crossroad of consumption. Every purchase is a vote for the kind of world you want to live in and a statement about your relationship with abundance. Impulse buying driven by boredom or a fleeting desire plants seeds of mindlessness and financial leakage. It whispers to your subconscious, "I am empty, and this object will fill me." It rarely does. Conscious consumption, however, is an act of mindfulness and stewardship. It asks, "Do I need this? Does it align with my values? Does the company that made it honor its workers and the earth?" When you buy from a place of conscious choice, you plant seeds of respect, for your resources, for other people, for the planet. You align your financial energy with creation rather than thoughtless extraction. This doesn't mean living in austerity. It means enjoying the things you truly need and love with full appreciation, free from the compulsive hunger of more. The crossroad of time. How you spend your most non-renewable resource, your attention and time, is perhaps the most telling indicator of your prosperity consciousness. Scrolling mindlessly through social media, comparing your life to curated highlights, is a poverty of attention. It scatters your energy and cultivates envy. Investing time in learning a new skill, in deep conversation with a loved one, in serving your community, or in silent meditation is an investment in capital that compounds endlessly, the capital of your own growth, your relationships, and your inner peace. The wealthy person in spirit guards their time jealously, not to hoard it, but to invest it in what truly nourishes the roots of their life. I recall a story about a famous architect, renowned for his minimalist, breathtaking homes. A wealthy client, a self-made man who had built an empire through relentless work, commissioned a vacation house. "Make it a masterpiece," he said. "Money is no object." The architect visited the man's primary residence, a sprawling, opulent mansion filled with expensive, unused objects. He then spent a week with the man, observing his life. He saw him take business calls during dinner with his family, saw him too exhausted on weekends to enjoy his yacht, saw the anxiety lines etched on his face. When the architect presented his design, the client was shocked. It was a simple, beautiful, but modest structure with one extraordinary feature, a single, vast wall of glass looking out onto an old-growth forest. The house had almost no interior decoration. "Where is everything?" the client sputtered. "Where are the media rooms? The wine cellar? The galleries?" The architect replied quietly, "Sir, you hired me to build a masterpiece. The masterpiece is not the house. The masterpiece is the view. The masterpiece is the silence to hear the wind in the trees. The masterpiece is the space, empty space, for you to finally be present with your own family and with yourself. You have spent a lifetime filling spaces to avoid the emptiness. This house is an invitation to discover that the emptiness is where peace resides." The client was initially furious, but something in the architect's words struck a chord. He built the house. It became his sanctuary, the place where he rediscovered his wife, his children, and a quiet joy he had spent his fortune running from. He later said it was the most valuable thing he ever owned, not for its price, but for the priceless peace it returned to him. The architect understood that true prosperity is about creating space for life, not just accumulating the furniture of life. The crossroad of comparison. This is a treacherous crossroads, paved with the illusion of the separate self. When you compare your chapter 3 to someone else's chapter 20, you plant seeds of discontent and forget your own unique journey. You move your attention from your own garden, which needs your care, to your neighbor's garden, which you cannot control. Buddhism teaches that envy is a form of hatred directed at someone else's happiness. It is a poison that sickens only the one who drinks it. The antidote is mudita, or sympathetic joy, taking delight in the good fortune of others. This may feel unnatural at first, but it is a muscle that can be trained. When you hear of a friend's promotion, instead of the pang of, "Why not me?" consciously offer a thought, "How wonderful for them. Their success shows me what is possible." This does not diminish your own potential, it expands the field of possibility in your mind. It shifts you from a mindset of competitive scarcity to one of collaborative abundance. The universe of opportunity is not a pie with limited slices. It is a bakery where everyone can learn to bake their own, and in sharing recipes, all bread becomes more delicious. Walking this path means becoming a conscious gardener at every crossroads. You pause, if only for a heartbeat, and ask, which choice plants a seed for the life I truly wish to live? Which choice comes from fear, and which comes from wisdom? You will not always choose wisely. The old habits are deep. But each conscious choice is a drop of water on the seed of your new understanding. With consistent practice, the new path becomes the well-worn one, and the old road of scarcity slowly grows over with the green of a wiser, more abundant life. We have journeyed together from the first question, turning away from the stars and dates, and turning inward toward the vast and fertile landscape of your own being. We have explored the soil of karma, the weather of your mind, the architecture of pillars, and the quiet power of daily choices. We have sat with stories of tailors and bakers, ferrymen and foresters, each a living testament to a truth that transcends numbers, that prosperity is a state of being before it is a state of having. Now, as we draw our contemplation to a close, let us gather all these threads into a single, practical understanding, not as a list of rules, but as a feeling, a resonance you can carry in your bones. The path of awakened prosperity is the path of becoming a clear vessel. Imagine your life as a cup. If the cup is dirty, cracked, or turned upside down, even if a waterfall of abundance pours from the sky, it cannot be held. The water will be contaminated, will leak out, or will simply flow past. Your work is not to chase the waterfall. Your work is to prepare the cup. Cleaning the cup is your practice of integrity and mindfulness, scrubbing away the grime of deception, anxiety, and old, limiting stories. Mending the cracks is your practice of wisdom and non-attachment, healing the fractures of neediness and fear of loss with the gold of understanding impermanence. And turning the cup right side up is your practice of generosity and open-hearted engagement with life. Orienting yourself so you are ready to receive, to contribute, to flow. When your cup is clean, whole, and open, you become a natural receptacle. Opportunities you once strained to see will appear in your field of vision. People you need to meet will cross your path with an uncanny timeliness. Ideas will arise with a clarity that feels like remembering, not inventing. This is not magic. It is cause and effect on the level of consciousness. A clear, stable, open vessel resonates at a frequency that attracts coherence, just as a still pond perfectly reflects the moon. The chaotic, scattered energy of frantic striving repels the very harmony you seek. The calm, focused energy of purposeful being attracts it. So, what is your first action upon hearing this? It is not to quit your job or invest in a new scheme. It is to sit. To be still. To breathe. For 5 minutes today, do nothing but be the custodian of your own breath. In that stillness, you are not a poor person wanting to be rich. You are a human being, present, alive, and inherently whole. From that place of wholeness, ask the only question that ever needs to be asked: what is the next right thing? Not the grand, decade-long plan, but the next right thing. It might be to finish the report you've been avoiding with care. It might be to send a thank you email. It might be to take a walk without your phone. It might be to look at your budget with clear, kind eyes. The next right thing is always small, always doable, and always aligns with one of the pillars. Is it honest? Is it mindful? Is it wise? Is it kind or contributory? Do that next right thing. Then, from the completion of that, ask again. And again. This is how you walk the path. Step by conscious step. Your life will change not because you ripped it up and started over, but because you brought a new quality of attention to the life you already have. You will begin to tend your own garden so well that it cannot help but overflow its boundaries, offering its bounty to others. And in that overflow is the secret you have been seeking all along. The world's millionaires are often those who have mastered an external game. But the awakened life offers you a greater inheritance. To become a millionaire of moments. To have a wealth of presence so deep that every ordinary moment, the taste of water, the laugh of a child, the slant of afternoon light, feels like a fortune. To have a wealth of heart so expansive that you can meet loss without shattering and meet gain without inflating. To have a wealth of spirit so unshakable that no external circumstance can dictate your inner peace. This is the prosperity that cannot be taxed, cannot be stolen, and only grows as you give it away. You were not born on the wrong date. You were born at the perfect time to begin this inner work. The cosmos is not withholding your fortune. It is waiting for you to become ready to receive it in its truest, most sustainable form. The alignment you seek is not between planets and numbers. It is the alignment of your heart, your mind, and your actions with the timeless principles of cause and effect, of generosity, of wisdom, and of peace. Welcome home to this understanding. The journey begins not tomorrow, but with your very next breath. The treasure map is your own awareness. The key is your intention. And the gold is the peace you discover when you realize you were never poor to begin with. Thank you for walking this path with me today at Monk's Temple. May your steps be light, your heart be open, and your life be a testament to the boundless abundance that flows from a mind at peace. Until we meet again, be well, and remember, the greatest wealth is already within you, waiting to be recognized.